Left a trail of damage from, it started off in Texas, Louisiana, stretching all the way to Florida over the last couple of days. Recovery efforts remain, and we've got more rain and thunderstorms to deal with across the southeast, but at least the southern plains will be clearing out today. But look at all the reports kind of starting up Wednesday right here in Texas, moving across Louisiana, Mississippi, dropping tornadoes there and wind and just a couple of reports of hail. But as you can see, we did have about 18 tornado reports stretching from Texas all the way to the first coast in Florida. So, this is the time of year we ramp up severe weather as we're now into mid-April. Typically, we peak in tornado reports going into the month of May. But as far as the enhanced Fujita scale for St. Johns County, Florida, EF1 means winds of 100 miles per hour and on the ground for about 6.7 miles here. So kind of a scary time, I know. And even when you didn't get a tornado, we had some really strong winds blowing across the northern parts of Florida. EF2 is even stronger here in Slidell, Louisiana. This, of course, happening back on Wednesday, I should say, with a length of 9.34 miles, 120 mile per hour winds, doing a lot of damage, a lot of destruction, a lot of cleanup going on here over the next couple of days. And thankfully, the weather will cooperate, not just today, not just the weekend, but beyond. Even into Monday and Tuesday, we get a nice lull in the action, that is for sure. In terms of where we stand for tornadoes so far this year, we've had 281 reports. It's just a little bit below the average of 301. But notice that white line being our average, it does ramp up as we go into the next month or two. So this is really just the beginning of severe season. Thankfully today, it's a good cleanup day, picking up sticks, cleaning up flooding and mud that may have gotten into your home. We've got beautiful weather, New Orleans over towards Jacksonville, high surf and high rip currents, by the way. I was just checking out the Tampa area where yesterday at the airport, Greg, we had a gust to around 59 miles per hour.
Yeah. Show you what that looks like on the water vapor. Look at this thing, taking the big deep dive out here. Excuse me, all the way down here. So it is going to allow some cooler temperatures to come in too, and that will, of course, give us some snow in the mountain areas. But I think most importantly, it brings some rain. Already seeing the moisture come on shore in Oregon and into parts of Washington. And as we watch here, the system swing on out, it could actually trigger some thunderstorms as we get through today. So here's a look at where the rain is right now. There's not a lot north of Medford, perhaps a couple of showers. Eugene, it's possible some showers today. But overall, as we get through the next 2 days, we see more activity. Today, maybe a few thunderstorms getting into eastern Oregon and to parts of Idaho, including around Boise. Tomorrow, we could see that risk of storms yet again into parts of Oregon. So let's look at how this plays out with rainfall. You'll see this start to really build up through tonight. Now we get the rain more steadily in places like Medford and Eugene. We get showers up towards Lewiston. We're going to be watching for a couple of chances of getting those rain showers out there. Bend, Burns, and Oregon all see that into your Saturday. Again, we could see a couple thunderstorms out here. It's possible. You'll see how they're kind of be isolated in nature. And then we watch that whole energy kind of swing in through the weekend. So that's going to drive some rain showers in and around the Bay Area, southward through Southern California. We'll see some showers around San Jose. This is now your forecast here starting later today. Tonight, rain spreading down the coast, Sacramento. We get some rain Saturday. Could be a really rainy morning for you. Tough for some of those farmers markets that you might be going out to. And snowfall will be adding up to, Kelly, hopefully it'll be above the pass level to have some of the biggest issues there.
Yeah, in fact, for you today, due to the weather that Jen just talked about. But unfortunately, a lot of problems are really here into the northeast where we've got the rain, the wind, causing some issues for us, not just delays, but we're talking ground stops at a few airports, actually. So we're going to kind of take a closer look at the conditions here for LaGuardia, Newark, even down towards Philadelphia with the thunderstorms around, low ceilings for some of you causing the issues as well. And for some of you, it's also a crosswind like the Long Island Expressway, the Southern State Parkway, Northern State. This is where you have a wind coming in off the water, and those gusts along the east end of I-95 are going to be at least 40 miles per hour, making for a rather bumpy flight, that is for sure, for those flights that do get off the ground, because as I mentioned, we do have ground stops for Philly, Newark, and LaGuardia. There's your wind, your turbulence showing up as well across northern New England. Even that lighter blue, it's a bit of a bumpy flight, so, if you're not kind of used to that sort of thing, make sure you have the medicine down into West Virginia. It's going to be later on this evening where we see some of those higher turbulence reports coming on through. So for today, the I-70 corridor being impacted, as well as Detroit, where, of course, your Tigers got rained out yesterday. They're going to play ball again tonight. And there's your wet weather along the West Coast, where I-5, and yes, even that severe weather potential over east of the Cascades in Oregon into Idaho and northern Nevada, Jen.
Travis has a job. He could be a roving tornado
Yeah,
siren.
my dog Penny would not be doing that. She might bark at the tornado siren. I don't know. We don't hear them too often.
Let's try to
though.
harmonize.
Yeah, hard to harmonize, exactly. Very cute, though.
All right, well, Kelly, good day for you to be on the show.
I know. I just found out this morning when I walked in the door, you guys are discussing lakes in New York.
Yes, we are.
That was like my favorite.
It's yesterday, so they'll finish up round one today.
So Masters weekend is really the one weekend of the year where I can really do absolutely nothing but watch the Masters. And I did that yesterday. I'm going to do it again today. The weather today, much better than yesterday.
Yeah. Still a little windy.
But the wind is going to make it real hard for the players.
I mean, wind was a factor yesterday.
Yeah.
It was difficult. I'll call it difficult conditions yesterday. So let's look at where the wind is coming from and how it's going to affect you here on the 13th hole. A strong west wind, 15, maybe 20 mile per hour plus, and cutting right across. So they tee off down there, Greg. The wind might actually help get them over the trees, though, right?
Yeah, it's real tricky, though, because there's such tall trees there. The wind at 100 feet is doing something much different than the wind at 20 feet. So when you're creating these shots, you got to account for it all. Very difficult.
It's going to make it really challenging today.
Yeah.
I'm no expert golfer, but I really don't know how you would play that with the wind and the trees and everything else on that particular hole.
It's the wind shear. We talk about that with severe weather. It's also a problem for us golfers.
Yes. Well, Saturday and Sunday look better, though. Wind will be calmer. Temperatures heat up by Sunday, 85 degrees. It's going to be hot.
Make sure you hydrate with adult beverages, maybe. We'll see.
Or maybe a little tea and lemonade.
Tea and lemonade for Jen.
Boston Marathon on Monday. It is Marathon Monday. This forecast looks great.
Who couldn't? Right. This is the perfect marathon weather. Right around 60. A little bit of a breeze and partly cloudy skies.
And no rain in the forecast.
Right.
We had rain last year. Going back over the last several recent years, we've had rain a few times, but this looks like a pretty good one, both temperature and precip-wise.
Yeah. And while lots of folks may be looking forward to
the best one for you and your family.
Well, joining us right now.
Truly unbelievable.
Just so amazing. I love that montage was in just under 4 minutes because totality for some places was right around that time, between 3 and 4 minutes.
Yeah, that was the max. Now, if that inspired you to witness the next solar eclipse in person, you've got some time to plan. You're going to need to grab your passport for the next several total eclipses. They'll all be overseas.
How about this location right here? Can you guess where that is?
Yeah, Iceland.
Iceland, yes. The next total solar eclipse set to happen on August 12th, 2026 over Greenland, portions of Iceland, Spain, Russia, part of Portugal as well. How cool would it be to see an eclipse over a volcano?
I mean, it's just a small part of Iceland, but it happens to be the part of Iceland that you're going to want to go to anyway.
And sometimes they get the northern lights too.
Oh gosh,
what about
wouldn't that be amazing to have it all in one trip? Oh, the eclipse will be passing right over the beaches of Mallorca and Ibiza. You know, the beach is a nice spot to watch an eclipse. There aren't many things to maybe obstruct your view of the sky. And one thing I like about Mallorca is there's a lot of mountains. So you can kind of get up high. And if you get up high enough, you can actually watch the shadow move.
Just camp out or something.
Yeah, you can watch.
And after that, Jen, the next eclipse has us headed down under to Australia, New Zealand. The total solar eclipse of 2028 will be the second of 5 eclipses in 15 years for Australia.
This would be another cool spot.
Yeah.
Parts of New Zealand, including here in Queenstown, will experience totality close to sunset. So you get the 360 sunset,
right?
And then you'll get the sunset in the western sky.
And the opposite season of what we're in here in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
All that going on.
Yeah, yeah. All right, finally, the total solar eclipse back here in North America in 2044. Now, on August 23rd that year, the path will only kind of touch us in the U.S. states, North and South Dakota and Montana.
But there will be another event in 2045 that will be possible to witness from coast to coast across the U.S. A city like Orlando, how about right over Disney World?
Yes.
Being in totality right there, that's going to be amazing.
A lot of Florida will be in 2045, so I'm planning ahead to that one. And maybe